When we survive a really upsetting experience, like abortion, memories can continue to haunt us no matter how we try to avoid them. Sometimes, the more we try to push away the memories, the more the thoughts barge into our minds, making daily living really tough. But if that's true, why does it help to remember and tell someone about your abortion? In this video, I'm going to answer that question. I'll explain why it helps to remember and how sharing your abortion story with trustworthy people can help you experience lasting healing and enjoy a good, full life. I know each woman's experience of abortion is unique. Some experience gaps in their memories, recalling some but not all of the details. Other women have an entirely different experience. You may be someone who remembers every single detail. Maybe you can't get them out of your mind. Dr. Teresa Burke describes it this way. This unusually sharp or vivid recall is called hyper-amnesia and is common in many cases of PTSD. Every minuscule detail, sights, sounds, smells, and feelings can be relived over and over, often through flashbacks. Usually, flashbacks only last briefly, but the anticipation of experiencing another flashback or being frequently bombarded by difficult memories can put you in a constant state of anxiety, and that's not a good way to live. So is it better to remember or to forget? In an article in Psychology Today, Dr. Seth Gillihan describes the value of revisiting painful memories. I'll summarize it for us, and I'll link the full article online in the description below if you want to know more. Dr. Gillihan writes, "Many trauma survivors I've worked with described the strength they found as they faced their trauma and told their story. They said they felt like they could face anything as they saw their fear lessen and found greater freedom in their lives. It takes courage to tell your story, and witnessing your own courage shows you that you're not only strong, but also whole. Whether through prayer, therapy, reading, and/or support groups, let's look deeper at what you could learn and how your life can change when you face your memories, even the most difficult ones like your abortion. One important thing that happened when I started to focus on deliberately remembering my abortion was my thinking started to become less confusing, and some of my past behavior started to make more sense. You see, as human beings, we like to see life experiences as having a beginning, a middle, and an end. In some ways, we want our life to run like a movie, where by the end, it all makes sense. But when we experience full or partial amnesia of an important life-changing event, like abortion, we can get stuck. It's like we can't move on and construct the next part of life until we make sense of the last part of life. Let me give you a personal example. For a long time, it puzzled me why I refused to visit my best friend in the hospital after she had her first baby. I disappointed her, and she never forgot it. One day, years later, I came across a Facebook post of my friend with her now grown-up son. That familiar pang of guilt showed up right away. But this time, rather than brush it off or fight it, I asked myself one more time, Jane, why didn't I go to that hospital? As I tried to picture that time, reconstruct it and remember, suddenly and out of nowhere, I remembered that the hospital she gave birth in was the same one where I had my second abortion a few years before that. Now you might wonder, so what? Well, it mattered to me because I realized I didn't ignore her. I wasn't unkind or careless. I was hurting, and I couldn't face going back to the place where I had been traumatized. Experiencing that moment of clarity enabled me to feel some compassion for myself instead of the usual guilt and self-condemnation. That's what healing after abortion is all about, making sense of what happened and finding meaning in how it affected us after. If you're getting value from this video, would you please hit the like button so that others can find it? And if you want to know when my next video is released, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Another benefit of remembering is that feelings of shame begin to decrease. A big problem with abortion is that it's usually kept a secret because we believe people will think less of us if they knew what we did. We're afraid of rejection. I'll lose your love, your respect, your friendship. You fill in the blank. Here's the problem. Shame that stays hidden continues to grow more powerful. Secrets over time usually bring on even more shame. But when you take steps to pull apart and look closely at your abortion experience, you discover it's more complicated than you realized. Then, if you tell your story to someone you trust and they listen with respect and without judgment, shame begins to lose its grip on you. When that happens, it suddenly feels possible to accept God's forgiveness and believe that He's never stopped loving you and that He has great, good plans for your future. In fact, you actually begin to look different. In the abortion healing support groups I participate in, we notice an actual shift in posture of the participants over time. It seems that talking about your abortion, allowing yourself to feel the difficult emotions, receiving God's forgiveness, and accepting compassion from others no longer makes you feel like shrinking physically in shame and emotionally dead. Instead, women walk out holding their heads high and look each other in the eyes. When you revisit painful memories in a supportive environment, you begin to understand and accept that you're human. You make mistakes, you're capable of sin, and you're not alone in that. If you're a woman of faith, you may have thought or been led to believe that you've committed an unforgivable sin. At the time when you needed God the most, you may have cut off or distanced yourself from Him. I know I did. From firsthand experience, I also know God will bless you for your courage and comfort you for your faithfulness when you examine your life. When you turn to Him for help to make sense of your life, including your experience of abortion, He won't let you down. Ask God to help you remember what you need to know and to direct you to people who will love and support you as you do. If you're feeling overwhelming pain or anxiety, I also urge you to talk to a professional about it. You can reach out for support to the organization listed on the screen for abortion healing support groups and more support. If you need help in deciding how do you know who to trust with your story, or even how to talk to your kids about your abortion, these videos will help. Check them out. And in the meantime, thank you for watching. I'm your mentor, Jane, on the journey with you to a good life with Jesus at the center, even after abortion. Thanks for watching.